morning, friends, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. My name's Holly with the Nestle Valley Farmhouse, and so today I'm going to take you along. We're going to do some mending today and just kind of talk about a little bit about frugal homemaking and how I try to keep costs down. So here's my breakfast. I made a bagel and some scrambled eggs with my protein coffee. And so today I'm just starting off with my usual chores, which of course is always emptying the dishwasher, putting everything away, and then reloading it. That's pretty much the one thing that I'm probably doing like most of the time in the morning. So one of the things about not having a lot of disposable income, because we live on one income and we also try to be as frugal as possible. And having 5 children does add up a lot. And we do try to save and be very strategic with kind of how we spend our money. We want the kids to do some extracurriculars. We try to do a couple modest vacations a year, mostly camping. So basically one of the main things that I do kind of on a regular basis is I try to just keep taking good care of the things that we do have and of the of all the things that we have, trying to continue to take good care of our resources. And basically if things get ripped or torn, I tend to try to mend them. Whether it's clothes, you'll see me, I actually am going to be sewing up pieces of my couch, because our couch we bought, gosh, how long has it been? It's been like 7 or 8 years. So it has lasted, in my opinion, really well when you have now 5 children, and they're all fairly rough on our furniture because they're very, very boisterous kids. They just love running around and having fun. So it's one thing that we kind of have to stay on top of, is basically trying to do our best to kind of repair when things get ripped or broken. So that'll be kind of one of the main things I'll be doing. And yeah, so my 1-year-old, she's starting to drop her second nap. So she's definitely kind of showing, getting a little fussy at different times of the day, which has been kind of difficult. Like you can tell she's just not very happy, but I'm pretty sure she went down for a nap after that. So as usual, I'm just going to start tidying up a little bit. Luckily enough, the kids did a really good job of keeping things picked up yesterday. A lot of this is just kind of a few things that I didn't get to right after the older kids get to school and stuff. Kind of gives me a spare moment to do that. So here is one of the rips on our couch. It's in kind of the seat part, and then here's the second rip. So I'm going to be sewing these up today, and kind of showing you how I kind of sew them up, and just kind of how I keep them looking relatively nice. So I bought this upholster repair kit on Amazon. I can link it in the description below if you're interested. It was like $10, and it has a ton of different threads with it, and a ton of needles. So the one that I use for the most part is going to be this curved mattress needle. There's actually 2 of them. One is bigger, one is smaller. The smaller one was not actually in the little paper thing, but it is in there, I promise. So, and then I just use this black thread. There's like 5 or 6 different threads in there, and they're all different colors, but I use basically the darkest thread that looked like it was going to be as close to match, because our couch obviously isn't black, but it's like really dark. So I use this big old curved needle, and it helps the most. And this is probably the second time I've repaired this particular spot in the couch. It just seems to be a really bad wear spot, and I have kids that like to, roll, they like to sit on the back of the couch, and and it's just, but like I said before, this couch is probably 7 or 8 years old, and it has held up really well. We were trying and kind of hoping we can at least get another season out of it. I have kind of started to look at Facebook Marketplace and maybe Craigslist to see if I can find a better option for it. But I'll be honest, I just have not had a lot of luck on those sites, because I think we spent $1,000 on this couch about 7 or 8 years ago. So it was a great quality couch. And like I said, we got it from Costco. So it was, decently priced for what it is. It was a huge sectional, and part of it is actually in the upstairs bonus room as well. So that kind of makes it a little bit more, I don't know how to describe it. So it was a really affordable couch, but just right now with the way things are, we're just trying to keep things as good as we can, and trying to hold off on buying a new couch as soon as possible. So then I'm just sewing up. I'm using the same curved needle. I probably could have used a flat needle for this, but the curved needle just makes things easier because it's just easier to go in. And of course, these needles are thicker, they're bigger, so they can go through the really thick upholstery fabric on the couch. But I think this took me like maybe 10 minutes. And so I feel like, you know, if I can plan it out and just take a few minutes out of my day to kind of get this stuff cleaned up, it really seems to help a lot with just making sure that it looks nice and then really easy and put together. And so, yeah, you can kind of see. And then I just finished up by doing just a quick knot on the bottom. And like I said, it is not perfect by any means, but it is better than having the big gap open, right? So I'm cleaning off my table real quick and I'm going to work on, so the other two things I wanted to fix is I have a couple blankets that are like that fun, like really fuzzy material. And then they kind of have like a, I don't know how to describe it, but basically it's like two pieces of material, they sew it together and they invert it so that it's fuzzy and then it's like flat on the other side. And they both have just kind of gotten worn and like the kids really like them. And so like the seam on one side is just kind of slowly, you know, come open. So basically they tend to get like put inside out like all the time. And it kind of drives me a little bit crazy. So I've decided I'm going to sew the seams back up. And so I'm kind of laying them out on the table so I can lay out, and then I just use a couple like just some pins in my pin cushion, and I left like a decent gap, but basically I pinned it all together, and then I basically just sewed it up so that it can, I sewed it up so that it will not come, like basically come inside out all the time. I mean, this is probably one of the biggest things that I feel like I can do that isn't going to be getting any new materials. I guess if you buy the upholstery kit, that's going to be your only real investment. But this is just something I feel like small that I can do to kind of help support just kind of keeping our things nice. Like the biggest thing for me is I want to keep things looking as nice as possible. And like I said, my kids can be rough on things, so I just have to be a little extra intentional, which is kind of frustrating sometimes, but that's kind of what I've started doing. And I think honestly, like it doesn't take a lot of time, but for me, I have to really like plan it and fit it in, because I feel like it's so easy for, you know, us moms to just get so busy with so many other things like school and kids and just all the things that, you know, this is just one of those things that I really have to like sit down and focus on. And I kind of made a list before I did all this, and I kind of wait until I get like a few things to mend, because I feel like once I get in the mindset, it's really easy for me to just kind of keep going with it. So yeah, I was really excited to be able to kind of get these things done, because I'll be honest, it's been months since I've mended these blankets, and they definitely needed it. So then I just hand stitched like that final section back up, and then that way it all looks practically brand new. I'm so excited about it. Works really well. So then I use this blanket and I just kind of fold it and I drape it over this rocking chair. It kind of helps keep the rocking chair from getting like too dirty, and I think it just kind of adds a little texture to the chair. And it's a way it's kind of like a cheap and easy way that I use to kind of keep your furniture looking a little bit nicer. Because if you have kids who, you know, spill things or they're just rough on things, it's just easy to kind of throw a nice blanket over it, because you can always throw the blanket in the wash. It's a lot easier to wash a blanket than it is to try to figure out how to shampoo a, you know, chair or couch that gets something on it. So this is the other blanket. This is the one that I normally put on the back of the couch. So I'm just kind of doing the exact same thing, pinning it all down the side, and then I'm just going to sew it up. And then for the most part, that's kind of all that I did. And then I'll show you obviously like how I mean, it's nothing fancy, but just kind of how I put it on the back of the couch to kind of look relatively put together, I should say. And Freya she was doing really well. She was kind of like wanting to like put her hands towards the machine. So I had to kind of go. Also, I will say, I went really slow because the fabric is it's not thick, but it's really kind of fluffy. So I kind of went really slow on my sewing machine to make sure that I didn't like break my needle or do anything like that. So it did take a little bit of time, and I just was trying to like take breaks and making sure I was lining it up really well. And yes, the baby was like all interested, and I don't mind if she watches me. In some ways, I hope that my kids can kind of like get the desire to learn how to sew and stuff and do more of this stuff sooner than whenever I did it. I mean, as a kid, I did a lot of fun sewing stuff, but I feel like now as an adult, I just want to do like that much more. So honestly, I just throw this on the back of the couch. It really helps. Same thing. It kind of keeps, you know, if the kids spill something on the blanket, it's a lot easier to wash. Our couch is definitely showing its age, but I feel like it at least looks relatively put together just with the blanket on the back. So now it's break for lunch. The kids are having macaroni and cheese, and of course they're helping mommy with it because that's what they do. And so they had that for lunch today. And then I ended up having a bowl of, actually, I didn't do it yet, but I had some chicken salad a little bit later. So I had one load of laundry that I'm just trying to stay on top of, you know, never ending laundry. I am going to try to, I think one of my goals this summer, and I'm kind of hoping I can actually stick to it, is to help teach, especially my older kids. I have an 11, 9-year-old, and I want to start teaching them how to do some of their own chores. Like, they have helped me do laundry, but I want to walk them through and like have them do a load from start to finish to folding to put away. And I want to literally like walk through them and show them how to fold everything properly, just so that, because I'm thinking maybe by next fall, I'm going to try to like give them the reins on like doing their own laundry. When I was a kid, I never had to do like any of my own chores in the sense of like my own laundry. I was expected to keep my room picked up, but I would always like help my mom fold laundry. Like, it was kind of a group effort is how we did it. And like, she would just bring the laundry basket into the living room, and there'd always be some sort of, you know, show on the TV, because my mom and dad loved watching TV. And we would just sit there, and like me and my sister and my mom would just like fold up all the laundry. So I'm thinking either doing something like that where I just like bring them in, because I think I'm trying to get to that transition point where my kids, especially my older two, are getting to that age where they can start taking on more like helping with cooking and helping with just helping with chores around the house. And so I really want to try to do that, because I think when I was a kid, my mom, she tried, but I also feel like she felt like, because she's told me this, that she felt like it was easier for her to just do it herself. And then of course it kind of became a problem whenever we were all older and we didn't really, like, I think part of it is we didn't really know like what her expectations were of us. And so I think it was kind of a difficult time for all of us, because, you know, like, she wanted help with the house and we just didn't really know how to help her, if that makes any sense. But yeah, so that's going to be my goal kind of moving into the spring and summer, is trying to get my kids on board with that. So, but as always, I always have laundry. So kind of my final couple mending projects. I have this really fun pillow, but for some reason the seam on it keeps just coming open. I actually have two of these pillows, and they were originally going to go on the couch and stuff. And they're just kind of those fun, fuzzy, like same material, just really like fluffy material. But they're kind of a pain because, like I said, the seams keep coming open. So I am basically going to just hand sew the seam shut. Nothing fancy. None of this is like to make them last forever, but it's just to make them last a little bit longer until I can afford to replace them. So of course this didn't take me very long at all. Just kind of did a little hand stitching all along the top and making sure that it was, you know, nice and tight. And I think I went one way and then I turned around and went back the other way, just to kind of double cover it to make sure it worked out really well. So now it's all stitched up. It looks great. And I'm just setting it aside. Then the last thing I'm going to do is I have a pair of jeans that I got, and I've only had these jeans for like a month or two, and like the seam just kind of split. Like, it didn't even like rip or break. It literally just looks like it was kind of a cheap sewing job, which I know happens sometimes. So it's not a lot, but I just felt bad because I'm like, I literally got these jeans like a month and a half ago. And so I wanted to make sure that I at least could get another month or two out of them. So I'm just going to stitch up those two. I think there was two spots where the seams kind of came loose, and I'm just going to do a quick stitching up, and then yep, they'll be done. I think I used some navy blue thread so that you can't see it. And I mean, it turned out really well, and now I can wear these jeans again, and I don't have to worry about them having weird, Freya bumped the thing, having weird, you know, like gaps in the legs while I'm walking around and stuff. I really find that like mending is really relaxing for me. It's kind of funny. I almost like today I was almost like looking around for more things I could sew, because honestly, it's just really relaxing. I see why people do it. I see why people like to sew. Like I can definitely see like, you know, you're making progress and you're improving something, and that's really nice. So all the mending is done and I am tired and the kids are all content and I'm waiting for my olders to get home from school. So I'm going ahead and see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.